In this exchange, union negotiator Ron DeLorde lays out possible consequences for the city if they follow their intended path to contract expiration and voiding of the evergreen clause found in the current police contract. This scene opens with City Attorney Jeff Lunda talking about the city's intended path.
Said that we have discussed with the city and with City Council two things: the evergreen clause being unconstitutional, and the contract being void after the September 30th termination date. And the second thing is City Council changing the benefits effective October the 1st as part of the budget cycle, as authorized by the part of the master agreement that I read. And I also added to that, I thought it would be better to reach an agreement.
Just for the record, we'll just agree to disagree about the evergreen being void and whether that language in the master contract allows you to impose health care. We'll just agree to disagree. We'll find that out at the courthouse. And is it your position that on 10/1/14 that there'll be no contract, I assume, and that we'll revert back to 143?
We haven't firmly decided what our options are. I've told you what we have discussed.
Okay, but if you sue to hold the evergreen, I think you used the word, then the contract would be void on 10/1/14.
I think it is void.
Okay.
No, I think the evergreen provision is void, and therefore the only thing that keeps the contract going is the evergreen
It
provision.
expires, it's not.
Yeah.
If the evergreen or the contract expires if it hasn't been renewed as of the 30th of December.
That's what I
Well,
mean.
then, make sure I understand.
Yes, sir.
Okay. On 10/1/14, is it the city's position that the contract would expire, which means there'd be no contract in existence, and this police department would revert back to 143 civil service?
We haven't taken a position on that.
But if there's no contract, Jeff,
Well, as a matter of law, yes, it would. That's happened in other places.
well, McAllen Police.
Well, there have been several that I've become aware of where that's happened. That if the evergreen wasn't in effect and there wasn't a new contract on October 1, there wouldn't be a contract.
Okay.
And you're right. Whatever provision has been preempted,
Would be unpreempted.
that is correct.
Okay,
I think
so-
that's a correct statement of law. I don't know that that's necessarily a correct statement of where we hope to be. We hope to have a new agreement.
Well, I'm just clarifying that the consequences of it running out,
Yes, sir.
that all the appointed positions, all the assessment testing will be gone, no recruiting outside of 143, all the broadbanding, minority recruiting, local recruiting will be gone. And we'd be back, all the civilianization that we've agreed not to challenge, or whether it conflicts with Lee versus Houston, will be gone. And we'd be back, and we'd arbitrate under 143, and we'd have the vacation schedules and the things that the law provides today. I'm just getting clarity that
Well, I'm
We're
not
on the
agreeing
same
that,
page.
I'm not agreeing that you would be correct on each thing you're saying, but what you're saying generally is, yes, it reverts to 143. Now, how people interpret what 143 is today compared to what it was years ago when it was.
well, let me ask you this, Betty.
Yes, sir.
If the chief makes appointments, and at the end of that it says, the parties intended to preempt the statute that only gives him one appointed person under the law, it's 1983. Any other appointments without a civil service test are purely by contract. So if there's no contract, all those people have to revert back and have to test for those positions.
Well, I'm
How
not
could they
saying-
stay appointed if they don't have that right under state law?
I'm not saying that I agree with that. In fact, I don't agree. You don't go back and undo something you did 20 years ago. It would be from therefore. What I understand to be effective October 1. You're not going to go back and wipe out everything that happened since 1970.
Yes, you are.
No, sir.
Wiping out the healthcare?
Yes,
You're
you
not
are.
going to undo what you've done.
Yes, you are. You either have a contractual right to amend the law, that's what bargaining gives everybody, or no contractual right and no contractual right, you go right back to the statute.
But you don't go retroactively.
Yes, no, no,
I'm
but
not
from that
gonna
day
argue
forward,
with you about-
I'm,
From that day forward, the way I've seen it happen in other
Yeah.
places is that from that day forward until a new contract is,
and that's an evergreen.
no,
Well, yes, it is. If you extend the provisions
No, it
past the law, it's an evergreen clause.
well, let's just do a hypothetical.
Okay.
If I had been appointed 10 years ago to
Yeah.
a position that was made appointed,
That's
and I'm
right.
still holding that position after, say, October
Yeah.
2nd, I don't get demoted.
Yes, you do.
I disagree with
With the
that.
chief, let me tell you this, it's the same as if the
Don't
council
point it out,
abolished the
man.
position, Betty,
Yes, sir.
and you've been assistant chief for 10 years, and they abolish the position, you go back. You abolish the contract, they go back, because the law doesn't provide for that.
I wouldn't be
Why not
spreading
add that to your lawsuit
I wouldn't
list?
be spreading that around to your membership.
Well, I'm telling them that I believe to be the
I don't.
statute.
They need to
And
know.
I respect your position,
Yeah.
because I know you wrote part of the law.
I
You
was
went around
involved.
in 47, you weren't born yet, so.
I was born in 48, but
Well-
shortly after that, I wasn't in 51 session.
Right, I understand that, and I respect your knowledge of 143, but I respectfully disagree with your interpretation of what would happen on the first.
Well, I believe it goes back, and we'll agree to disagree. We'll
Yes.
find out on October 1st.
I think we should work harder to get an agreement
Well-
and worry about, than be debating about what would happen. Let's work hard to get an agreement.
Well,
That makes
we
more
can't
sense.
work that hard from an ultimatum position, but let me just say this. We've heard what you've said. This requires us to have consultation on a larger scale than the team. We've talked to the board about what they wish to do, and I'll get back with you.